Thanks. Oops, sorry. Total accident. Give me money. Without coming.
Chase the adventure.
Ooh, the black cat.
How you going, John?
Oh, mate, 2 weeks Sri Lanka. I've hit my reset button. I'm in another planet now.
It's amazing, isn't it? So you're here with the legend John Ruth and Matt from Nevermind Adventure Tours. Just finished our 2-week Secrets of Sri Lanka motorcycling extravaganza.
Secrets of Sri Lanka, I like that. That's really cool because we really did see a bit of everything. We saw back roads, we saw side roads, we saw people in all sorts of different places. It's just insane.
So we had a bit of shenanigans last night, the awards ceremony. Do you want to tell us about that, John?
Sponsored by Lion Lager.
Oh, there was a few of them.
When we get back to Australia, we're looking for a beer sponsor. I'm looking at you, Bogues. Yeah, shenanigans. Man, that was really well handled. You and Frankie just did an awesome job there. For those who weren't there, which is like 50 million of you, blank map of Sri Lanka on the wall and everyone drawing little pictures on it. Now, that sounds kind of strange, but didn't it work?
It never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
We do it at the end of every tour, whether it's India, the Himalayas or Patagonia.
That's great.
And we just draw that blank map, and as we go through the night, everyone just walks up and they'll remember something. Oh, that's where such and such got caught by the cops, or that's where such and such dropped his bike, you know, and they'll just draw a little picture, and it just, by the end of the night, the map's full.
Flashing light and a stick figure, you know,
doesn't
that kind
matter.
of stuff.
It tells the story.
It tells the story, and what a story it's been. I mean, you know, people who ride motorbikes will get this. Bikes sharpen you up, and riding in these conditions sharpens you razor blade sharp. It really does. And the result of that is that when you stop, you're immersed in the culture even more. You're wearing it all day long, you know, you're feeling it, you're there. It's not like you're gliding past in an air-conditioned bus with a tinted window, or is it? You're there, man, you're right there. I feel I can go home now and confidently talk about Sri Lanka. Although I don't know how I'm going to explain it to anyone who didn't come on the tour, because it was just too good.
I mean, that's our job, is to, we're trying to sell it to people in a way, or explain to them what it's all about, and this sort of thing's the only way I can really think of doing it that does it any justice, is having someone like yourself here to come and experience and, you know, just genuinely tell everyone what it's like.
Well, as far as interpreting goes, I can say lion beer.
You'll buy one?
Oh, there you go.
And the other one, Appiamo.
Appiamo. Let's go.
Let's go.
We have had the most incredible couple of weeks. Matt, I thank you. I thank Frankie. It's just awesome. I mean, when I came along, I kind of because I know you. You know, I've known you for a long time, and I knew it would be extraordinary at the very least. I expected that. Extraordinary 5-star plus. That's where it's at now, which is why I'm heading to Patagonia with the Nevermind Adventure crew in March. And you know, I've got work to do. I've got things to do. I've just cancelled a whole stack of life just so I can go on another trip, because, quite frankly, this is as good as life gets. So my motorcycle mates out there, you know, all 2 of you, and I'm joking there. If you're looking for a really good adventure and you can ride a motorbike, maybe you should come along with us. I'm
a bit worried about that trip, actually. I think neither of us will have our handbrakes there.
Well, you know what that means. 1 pair of underpants for the 2 weeks. I mean, we'll be right. Matt's got this theory, which works on the road. It's obviously one he picked up, that all you got to do is dive into some water at the end of each day and you'll be just fine, you know. Just keep your clothes on.
Yeah, jump in the ocean, body surf for a bit, hang your shirt up to dry. She's good to go in the morning.
Yeah, well, here's proof of the pudding.
Nature's washing machine.
I was out there in nature's washing machine earlier today. How good is it?
That's stunning.
That's how you'd have to explain this trip. You know, like every day was different. Every day, well, except for one, was some fairly intense motorcycling. Not too strenuous. You know, we've had people on this trip who can't ride that well. You know, we have one guy on his L's, and everyone's sort of bundled in and looked after them. And then we've had some very experienced motorcyclists too, people who ride every day. Not one person missed out on the sheer joy of the riding.
3 on their L's.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Work experience.
Oh, work experience.
Hunter.
Yeah, of course.
Craig and Nick.
Now, that's kind of funny, isn't it? Because Hunter's probably the quickest bike rider of the team. But, yeah, you know, we just paced ourselves, we enjoyed it, and then at the end of it, you get to accommodation that, you know, in Australia would be sort of 5-star plus most of the time, without a doubt. It's just awesome. Awesome. I keep saying awesome.
And for Frankie and I, it's been a real treat to hang out with you and Kaz and get to know you guys better and, you know, ride together. And we've learned a lot from the both of you about filming, lighting, camera work, and all this sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's from Karen, by the way. You know, she's the expert on this stuff.
But just it's been a real pleasure getting to know you guys, and you're always welcome along. Hopefully doing many more laps of all sorts of places. So with
I'll
you
come
guys.
back here tomorrow. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you could. I could just do another lap. Just keep going.
That's what everyone was saying last night. You know, give us a night off and we're off again.
I mean, that's the reward for us, is that awards night and everyone's having a few drinks, sharing stories, and we're giving out our certificates and, you know, our graduation certificates from the School of Adventurism and Royal Enfieldology.
I mean, I got things on my office wall at home, lifetime memories, that's going to be framed and up there. And
excellent.
I kind of figured there'll be quite a few of them actually after a while. I bought a Sri Lankan flag today.
Oh.
Yeah, only got one though.
Oh,
I bought his last one. I know you wanted one.
I'll get one on Amazon.
That's hardly fair.
So the trip, I'll just give a quick recap on it, and feel free to jump in and, you know, comment as I go. But okay. So here we are back in Negombo, where it all started 2 weeks ago. We've been to Uluwatuna, down on the southwest coast, stayed at the Rockfort Hotel. Yep. Visited Gaul, the old Portuguese Dutch fort there. You
know, I love my history. That was just a step back in time. I bought some very rare old doubloons and a couple of other things, really cheap. Probably get home, find out they were made 2 weeks ago, but I doubt it somehow. I doubt it, because one of the things I've noticed here is the basic honesty of people. Yeah. You know, I had a tuk-tuk driver today to take us into the markets, and I didn't have enough change, small change. So I gave him twice what it cost. And I said, go on, you know, you'll be okay. He said, no, I come back in an hour, pick you up, take you home. And he did. He was there an hour later, you know.
Well, that's a bit like the work experience kid getting lost and, on day one and having to get a tuk-tuk back to the hotel because he couldn't remember which hotel he was staying at. And the hotel paid for the tuk-tuk because he didn't have any cash on him.
Oh, look, this is a totally different experience, this country. The people are so friendly. Anyway,
from Gaul, we travelled up to Sigara Rainforest Reserve.
Yala.
No, that's Sigara. Remember the big steep driveway going up to the...
Oh, yeah,
and there's the hotel, we had the home-cooked meal, and they were just lovely, weren't they?
Oh, that was like some kind of meditation centre in the middle of the jungle.
Beautiful, isn't it?
And what nice people. And then we experienced great food again. I mean, you know, let's not talk too much about great food, eh?
Then down to Hiraketia Beach for lunch, the digital nomad capital of Sri Lanka.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
Beach.
Yep.
Wow, they have a bit of a problem. The European tourists, the Germans and French girls especially. They must have a clothing shortage over there, I reckon. Gee, you know.
No comment.
I know where I wear my thongs and it's not up my bum.
The boys enjoyed it there, and after a bit of a wait in the torrential downpour, which lasted, half an hour or so, we jumped on the bikes and headed a bit further down the coast, away from the hustle and bustle, and stayed at Goyamboka Beach, where we had the beach bar and the cabins in the jungle there.
I'm not sure, but I got a feeling that beach bar could be the standout, although it's in amongst so many standouts.
Pretty special.
It was so special, I mean. And once again, you know, we got there and I think they had 3 beers and 4 prawns, and the next thing, half a dozen people have been sent all over the place to bring supplies in, and we've nestled into a really nice night.
Oh, that was
unbelievable.
Incredible. That's a new one for us. We used to stay up the road, but we thought we'd try this Goyamboka Beach, but definitely a keeper.
Going back there.
From there, we headed into Youre National Park.
Youre National Park.
Stayed just outside the park and jumped on some jeeps in the afternoon.
Yep. That just reminded me of home.
Jeep safari.
Yep.
It's a beautiful park. Unfortunately, we didn't see a lot of wildlife. Last time I was there, I did see leopard and elephant, but this time they seemed to be hot. We caught a sighting of a leopard sitting on a rock in the distance. I saw 3 on the last trip, so you're going to have to come back and try again.
Oh, I just have to come back. There's just nothing for it.
We were handsomely rewarded the next morning when we rode through the centre of the park.
Elephants on the road, you know, that's the first for me. Never seen that. I've travelled in my time, I've never seen that. I mean, imagine, you know, like it's bad enough if you hit a kangaroo, but an elephant.
Oh man,
boy.
I never get tired of that. It's still... No. You know, it doesn't matter how many laps of this island I do, when you see elephants walking down the street, wild elephants. It's
elephants up front on a motorcycle. That's fantastic.
It's
wow.
I don't know how indescribable experience.
And shortly after that, we took a little side turn and went through some rice paddies and a couple of paddocks, and then we had a dam on one side, and all of a sudden, because a lot of the time in Sri Lanka, you're actually travelling in a jungle canopy, aren't you?
Yeah.
You can't see much because of the trees and stuff. But then when you do get a view of something, it was like, bang, mountains, sky. Hey, look, there's some guy up the tree climbing around picking up coconuts. Don't see that back home.
Walking the tightrope.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, it's the truth. See things here you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, what about, we went up to Allah and had a look at the waterfall, and then up to the top there and into the accommodation there. It's a little bit different, right on the hilltop overlooking the whole of Sri Lanka, it felt like. You
felt like you're propped on the edge of a Himalayan hill, looking all the way down the valley, mountains in the distance, and monkeys all over the place. Honestly, I think I saw a couple of my mates reincarnated on that road. It was pretty special.
One thing, especially coming into Allah, and you walk into that hotel and just see that vista and the clouds sitting on the mountain tops, it's like, I describe it as like a scene out of Lord of the Rings or something. But what did that feel like for the first time?
Mystical. It reminded me of the Himalayas, but just mystical, you know. There are places in the world, and lots of them in Australia, sure, but that just feel very, very special, and that was just a mystical place.
Yeah.
And it was also, there you are in your room looking out over this beautiful mystical valley, whatever. You only have to go a little tuk-tuk ride that way and you're in the middle of a really cosmopolitan party village.
With the Chill Cafe, which is, I believe Karen enjoyed the Chill Cafe.
Oh,
I thought that was a good one. It's a winner.
Yes.
Good food, bit of a party vibe. They do a good job there.
We won't say anything about, following Frankie into the disco and doing the Congo.
Was there a Congo? Remember I had a curfew on myself that night.
Oh, that's right. You decided to have a whole night off.
Yep. I wasn't even going to come to the restaurant, to the cafe, Chill Cafe, but...
you missed the Congo, mate.
But Karen wasn't having a bar of that and dragged me along. But I was still home in time for the 9:30 curfew, and I felt great the next day.
Well, look, that's something kind of weird, I mean, I might call Karen the handbrake. She's never really stopped me from doing anything.
From what I've seen, our time with Karen on the road, she is not the handbrake.
She is definitely not the handbrake.
That's a very inappropriate...
She's the Toyota handbrake. You go faster when you pull it on.
Yeah, right. Kaz is a lot of fun. We've had a great time. So always up for a bit of a bit of shenanigans and a bit of a laugh.
It's been the best holiday we've had, just as a holiday, let alone the rest of it. But
from Alo, a couple of days there, and then we headed to Patagonia and the special beach resort there.
That's right. Yeah, that was very special.
Yeah,
very.
And
special.
the seafood fiesta on the beach.
Oh, if you like seafood, you haven't been to Sri Lanka, you've missed out.
I think I've lived off prawns the whole trip.
Yeah. I mean,
that's incredible.
When you watch them pull them in, pull them in, bang, and then barbecue.
Yeah.
Can't get any better.
And they're the size of bloody crayfish, like they're huge. It's incredible.
Oh,
so we had a good time there, late checkout, so we could make the most of it. Then we headed up to Trincomalee to the old Dutch Bank Cafe.
That's right.
For lunch.
And that's when we saw what looked like a cyclone come in over the bay. Yeah. Just swirling rain, stinking hot. We're just about to go out. Nah, let's go back in. Took about 20 minutes, passed through, off we go again. I've noticed that time and time again, when it rains in Sri Lanka, you don't mind at all.
Nah, and it never lasts long.
No.
If you're at lunch, you just stay a bit longer and wait for it to pass. And
it's like far north Queensland, you know. If it rains, hey, that's good, I'm wet. Now I'll cool off. It's just perfect.
Then we headed up the coast to Nilla Valley on the beach there.
Yes, that's right.
That was a nice spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nilla Valley.
Nilla Valley, yeah.
Nilla Valley, that's how you say it. That was an awesome resort.
Yeah, beautiful beach there too.
Wow, the beach. The beach was warm. Like the water was really warm, no coral, no seaweed, no nothing. Walk in,
and
enjoy.
With Pigeon Island straight out offshore there, the national park that you can scuba dive. We didn't go on this trip, but there's apparently some good snorkeling out there. I've just been waiting for the right conditions. So we packed so much into this trip. It's hard to find the time to do everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, even now, look, it's only one day over and I haven't processed it all.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I used to get this way when I come back from a really amazing four-wheel drive trip.
Yeah.
Be away for a month and about a month later the images would start flicking through the brain box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And something like this lasts for a lifetime.
Frankie and I were chatting today at lunch and just, I said, we've got some ideas and that we want to do down the track maybe, and I'll run them by you later on in the chat. But we said this is where the magic happens for us. It's where we come up with our fresh ideas, and you're talking to people, and it just generates, some creativity. I think it just comes from nowhere. You can get in a bit of a rut at home, but you do something like this, it just starts flowing. So
it's exactly what I needed. I mean, we've had some major changes in our lifestyle, I guess, in the last few years, and a little bit of, not confusion, but, just not in a rut even. It's hard to describe. We're never in a rut, but something has happened on this trip. I can't wait to do a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Reset button.
I mean, it's even having you here and Kaz, it's for us, it's brought a new level of excitement to it, because now we're chatting about, we should do this, we should do that, we can do that, and we're learning stuff from you, and it's given, and it's exciting times, I think.
You just got the right idea. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to describe, but middle of a fairly hot day, we've taken a couple of back roads, we're up a track. This would have been after Nilla Valley. Yep. Nilla Valley. It was after that. And Matt said, I'm just going to try a different way for the heck of it. And the next thing, we're down a rutted little dirt track and we cross a big causeway and there's this beautiful clear river with a sandy bottom, and righto everyone, I'm going for a swim. And next thing, there's 20 of us in our underpants splashing around in the water. Fortunately, there wasn't too many people around. In fact, I don't think I saw anyone.
No.
That's amazing. 23 million people. We've been going places where you don't see people, as well as places where you do. But that was just incredible. That was, when you did it, I thought, cold beer, bang, I was in. It was the most refreshing thing. Loved it.
We do a lot of swimming on this trip, don't we? So if it's not pulling over at little rivers to swim in, or at the beach, there's swimming pools. It's like...
No, you strap your bathers to the handlebars and you go.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that.
So, from from Nilla Valley, we shot down to Sigara, Lion Rock.
That's right. So it must have been the day after that we had the swim.
It was, yeah.
It's just turned into a tumble.
That's right.
Sigara was...
Oh my God, look at that sunset.
I know.
That is incredible.
Far out.
Yeah, sun setting over the Indian Ocean. There's something...
Oh.
I got shivers running up my spine, actually. I'm not sure if it's from the watermelon vodka cocktail or probably a bit of both. Incredible. Yeah, down to Sigara, Lion Rock.
Yep. And that, you know, I've been to Egypt, I've seen the pyramids. There's a mysticism there, for sure. But Sigara, whoa, I'm not sure that shouldn't be on top of the list of wonders of the world, to be honest, because it's a pretty amazing place. And it's funny, because it's kind of like the rest of Sri Lanka. You don't really know about it. People haven't...
Yeah, it's an energy to it.
Yeah,
like, you know, I've been up there many times now, and it's a bit of a trek up to the top, but you know, I keep doing it, and it's just, there's something about just looking out over the whole of Sri Lanka from the top of that rock that you know has been inhabited by humans and maybe non-humans depending on which conspiracy theory you subscribe to, but you know, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, you know, it's like, and you can just imagine them up there.
If you're into your Mayan temples and things like that, you know, and you probably know a fair bit about that, but this was the Sri Lankan more than equivalent, and it was just amazing.
Real Indiana Jones shit, isn't it?
It is. Like it's fair dinkum. How did they do that? Yeah. How did they do that? You know, that big pool that's always full of water right on top of the rock.
Yep.
How do you do that? You know? And the fountains that always bubble, and just amazing.
Sigara, we got up early. We had a big day on the road and headed down to, or up, I should say, to Nuara Alia in the mountains. And I warned everyone, I said, it's a big day, but it's probably the highlight of the trip. And that's where we went for a swim. We took a bit of a detour.
Yep.
And how's some of the corners on that leg of the trip?
We actually raced the three. I shouldn't say this, should I? But
no, you should.
We all, I think, because we're on 350 Enfields, you know, but Kaz and I got into it. We just couldn't, you know. I'd look back in the mirror. We're just about scraping the pegs, and I can see her bending over trying to get a bit more ground clearance. We just, that was one of the most enjoyable parts of the ride, because we had that road to ourselves a lot of the time.
Yeah,
it was pretty amazing.
Coming through up into the hills, those real wide sweepers through the jungle and rainforest as we climbed up into the tea plantations.
Oh yeah, tea plantations. It's the old British summer resort, you know, just like they have what's it called, Simla in India.
Yeah.
And in fact they had those kind of places everywhere they settled. They'd have somewhere cold to go in summer. And so British architecture, you know, the old racing club and the racetrack right in the middle of town, and some of the best food I've ever had in my life up there too. Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, that's that pool hall we went to for dinner was. Yeah. What did you have? The buffalo stew or something like that?
Buffalo stew.
I don't think it was buffalo. I think it was just beef, but
it was soft. It was beautiful.
The guys do a good job at that place, actually.
I reckon.
Frankie has a talent for sniffing out funky little cafes and bars.
She's good at that, isn't she? Yeah. Wow.
So cool night up there. In our little guest house, the homestay, which I think was a nice, it's changed from everything else.
From the height. So it was, is it 2,000 metres?
I think it's about 2,000.
or something?
Something like that, yeah.
And we started out at about 200 metres, so we climbed about 2,000 metres in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
And all corners, not a straight bit of road in there.
And
so,
you come up in the rear vision mirror behind me at one stage, and I could see the grin. I could see it through your full face helmet.
That was motorcycling heaven. And I think the best thing was that because we're on the 350 Enfields, you know, we're all cracking along about the same pace.
Yeah.
Getting into it.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unreal. Look at that sunset again. It's just getting better. It's starting to dip down below the ocean.
We've got big red globe.
That is a postcard, that right there.
That is, yeah. This has all been a postcard.
See if Frankie can splice in a picture of that into the clip. Oh, the sunset's unbelievable. Are those beers? Are those? Is that bottle of beer is that communal? Or?
Frankie and Kaz just got another beer and didn't get us one, so that's not good.
Everyone's staying is out.
Everybody's here looking at the sunset.
That is one of the best sunsets I've ever seen. The only other place I've seen as good as that is down the road from my place. There's a Lake Conowari. It's a state game reserve.
Yeah.
When you do come down to visit and sample my home brew, I'll take you there and we'll take a couple of bottles down and watch the sunset. I just hinted to Frankie, she's got a bottle over there. I said, is that communal? And she ignored me.
That's because anyway. And then where did we go?
Well, I was just thinking the contrast of being at Youre, starting at Sigara and then finishing back at Negombo. It's hard to believe you're on the same planet, like it just... And, within hours it just changes like that, it's incredible. So from Youre, we headed back to Negombo.
Yeah.
For the home stretch.
But that's the word there, contrast. The whole trip has been contrast. It's you're wonderful.
See how good I am to them?
See how good she is?
But
she's actually
good
empty to everyone who comes on the trip.
She's amazing. She's a real asset, Frankie. Yeah.
Hey, you see that? Just making light of this. The boys the other night, they got to the bar first and they sent me a photo. This is a couple of guys from Victoria, Rusty and Mitch.
Oh, I know exactly what you're about. Yep.
So they get to the bar earlier. They take a bunch of photos of their drinks, all expensive cocktails. We're talking a couple of dollars here, but hey Roothy, what room number are you? So they had something to stick on the bill. I won't tell the story about my vest.
Why not?
Because I told it last time.
Oh, you did too. Yeah, right. We don't need to recap that.
So much.
It does warrant a retelling at some point, but we'll come back to that one day.
I feel sorry for Kaz. She's got about 3 million clips that we've got to try and put together a YouTube thing out of.
So rolling into the hotel yesterday afternoon after that bit of a hectic ride through this, come back into civilization, I guess.
You planned it well, mate.
Yeah.
You planned it so well. For those who don't quite get it, we didn't pick up the bikes here in Negombo, which is just near Colombo, and then ride straight through the city. We picked the bikes up, 3 hours south?
Yeah, Unawatuna.
Which meant we had time to adjust to the local conditions. Now, I've done enough of this sort of Asian traffic stuff over the time, but it was just the perfect way to go about it, especially for our L-platers and our not so experienced. Just slowly work your way in. Come on in, mate.
Oh, you are a gentleman. Bahama Stuti. Thank you. Bahama Stuti is like, Stuti is thank you, and Bahama is like next level thank you.
Next level thank you.
He's Zolo, the man himself. So he just couldn't help himself. He's a bit of a... He had to jump in the camera shot.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing.
Of course.
It's all good. He's another gentleman, one of the members of our group. Here we go. Join the chat. You're on YouTube now, Zolo.
How are you? Sorry about that.
You might not be able to hear him because he's not mic'd up. But he's just he's gate crashing our podcast. But you're more than welcome. Sit in.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were.
And I've only got one beer, but Frankie might be able to sort you out.
I'm just going to say most wonderful time.
Most wonderful time, he said,
Dougie.
just in case you didn't hear.
Brilliant. It was adventurous.
Tell us about it.
Brilliant, adventurous.
Unscripted.
I can say it was a challenge, but it was a challenge that really helps you become a better driver, better rider.
And what else do we say better today?
Well, better today.
Better human.
A better human, yes.
We all are.
Yeah, and it was amazing people. The poorest people are the happiest people. They were just all beautiful everywhere we went, all the little shops we went to. They just embraced us and thanked us, and it was just absolutely a wonderful, wonderful trip.
So what's the next one on your calendar?
I'm going to Colorado. I'm going skiing.
you know that's not what I meant.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
So there you go, look.
Yeah,
Doug's nailed it, right? Before we finish, there's one more thing I need to say, which is, Kaz and I have got our share of friends. We don't make a lot of friends. We like extraordinary people. We tend to hang out with extraordinary people. Somewhere along this trip, You know, look at Mr. Zolo here. He's not just a black belt karate instructor. He runs snowmobile trips out of Falls Creek, which means we're now best mates, and we're going to Falls Creek soon. And it's the same.
I'll charge them double.
And it's the same with everyone on this trip. It seems we're going home with another 15 phone numbers in our phones.
Absolutely.
And you told me this happens, and I saw it, you know, at the meets we've had along the way.
Yeah.
But by crikey, so
sorry to interrupt.
No,
just
you're not
don't become
interrupting.
friends, but you become family.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
We
very
have to.
close because we're in each other's pockets. We're sharing. It's just life changing.
it is life changing.
Yeah.
And there's a common entity here, which is we all love adventure. We're all prepared to take a little bit of risk to achieve a maximum experience,
Yes.
I guess. And the motorbikes bring us all together. And somewhere along the line, we just welded up as a team, didn't we? We just formed a team and
very galvanised team.
galvanised. Love it. That's beautiful.
I'm going to ask you one question on the spot.
Yeah.
Highlight of the trip.
Highlight of the trip,
Meeting
I would
Roothy.
say Ella and going. Yeah.
No.
But one of the most highlights was actually accidentally going to a Buddhist monk ceremony, and we nailed the time exactly at Ella on the highest peak there. It was just so colourful, the people embracing. We got blessed. We were asked to bless gifts. It was just fantastic.
I got half a feeling they thought Doug was the reincarnation of Buddha there on the day, mate.
Pretty close.
Did you have some loose clothes on, you know?
I did have loose clothes on, but I wasn't painted gold.
I thought you meant because he's quite a spiritual, relaxed,
no, he's a
and
very-
peaceful person.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you meant there. But
No, what? Yeah, I don't know what I meant either. Doesn't matter. We're all mates.
I'm going to now leave you to your podcast. And
I think
that's
the
all right.
podcast is
Thanks
over.
for popping in.
that was great. Very much.
So, Roothy, Dom come up with a term for Sri Lanka,
Thanks, Doug.
which I think is quite appropriate and funny. Slow Lanka.
Slow Lanker. Slow Lanker. If you can hear the kissing noises, that's Doug kissing all the ladies in the background.
Yeah.
Sorry, Noreen. Yeah, Slow Lanker. It really suits a step out of this world and into another one.
Yeah, sometimes you order a beer and it might take
Takes
a
a
bit longer
while.
than back home, you know, and you're wondering what's going on or if they've forgotten about it, but it always comes. You know? So the trick is to order two.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you want to get in front of these things.
Yeah, and then you got one in backup, and then as soon as they come, you order another two, and then you're good. So
And then you drink 9. It seems to be most nights, but anyway,
yeah,
not
so,
necessarily. It's fantastic.
So I wanted to tell you something. I had a bit of an epiphany last night after the awards night, and I think it's quite cool. Obviously, our work experience kid here, Hunter, he's my son as well. He's just turned 18, got his L's, and he's just travelled around with for 2 weeks, helping out, doing a bit of sweep riding and stuff. And I was looking at him, he was having a bloody extra special arak last night, probably a few too many. And I looked across at him, and it was a bit dark and the lighting was down. I went, oh my God, he's a man.
Yes.
Yes. He left a boy.
Yes.
And I went, I didn't recognise him. His shoulders are broader, his posture's better,
He's
his
been
confidence.
telling people, you know, sort of
I'm like-
explaining
And
things.
I think the food as well, he's been
he's eating really
cost
good
me
food.
a fortune. He's been eating jumbo prawns for dinner every night, and like I don't care. I'm like, good, just it's healthy stuff. Just order it, rack it up in my room.
But
And,
your wife's a traveller. You've taken him on trips before.
Oh yeah.
This time he had a role to
I
play,
think this is his 6th or 7th since he was about 7 years old.
and it's pretty obvious to see what he's going to be doing. You know, Nevermind
But,
Adventures isn't going to go away in a hurry.
He was going through a tough time when we left, and he was a boy. He was still a kid, and then just 2 weeks on the road, riding, adventure, bikes with a lot of men and women.
Everybody
I
here.
think it's all rubbed off on him, and it's like I'd say to any fathers out there having with kids going through a tough time. I can't describe the change that so quickly, in the kid. Like it's just unbelievable.
Something like this would be the ultimate father-son get-together.
like I've just loved it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just been. This has been probably. I think I'll look back on this as the most important. It's having you guys here, having Hunter here, Frankie, Shahid, like the whole team. Probably one of the most memorable rides I've ever done. You know.
Even us, you know, as a couple. I mean, happily married, 33 years, 3 kids. I've spent half my life on the road, and yet this 2 weeks we have laughed so much together. We've sort of reconfirmed the fact that we're just best mates. You know, it's bloody amazing. I mean, yeah, it's an experience.
Karen certainly made me laugh many a time.
Yeah, I know. She's funny, isn't she?
Oh, she's a wild one there, mate.
Oh,
she's unreal.
People used to say, you know, I used to write all this shit about the handbrake, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the truth was that if I had a column to write, even now when I have a column to write, you know, we lie in bed, we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And she comes up with these funny lines and I have to sort of hop out of bed and write it down while I think about it, you know.
Keep that one.
Yeah, keep her.
I'm a bit worried about if Karen ever meets my wife, because she's half Welsh, half Croatian.
Oh,
And
dear.
I know Karen's got a bit of Welsh ancestry, so Yucky Darn, I think.
Yucky Darn?
Yeah, so
Yucky
look
Darn?
out, look out. We might have to...
Something about good health to all Welshmen and the English are shits or something, I don't know. Hey, Patagonia was settled by a whole bunch of Welsh people too, so Karen's going to give me some lessons in Wales.
So 2 weeks in March next year, still got a
2
few
weeks.
places left. Roothy will be there, I'll be there.
What are we riding there?
We're riding Royal Enfield Himalayans.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, like I think I was telling you about the book I'm reading, In Patagonia, by Bruce Chetwynd. It's a really good read if you're thinking about Patagonia, and it talks about the Welsh settlers. There's 110, 120 of them pulled up there on a ship fleeing Wales. I think the British were giving them a hard time.
They would have
back
been.
then. And, yeah, they would have been the British.
The British do that everywhere.
Let's go find some greener pastures, and they wanted to go as far away from Europe as they could.
They got it,
and
didn't
Patagonia is where they ended up, and they settled there, and their descendants are still quite prevalent in the area. So I'm looking forward to going back there. I haven't read that book. You know, this will be my 4th or 5th time in Patagonia, I think.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. You know, they say travel broadens the mind. It doesn't just broaden the mind, it enhances every aspect of the mind. Do you know what we're going home to do?
What?
And this is weird. I mean,
what's that?
Look, please don't laugh at me, okay? If you know me, please don't laugh at me. Karen started it.
Can I guess?
What?
Can I have one guess?
Yeah, go.
You're going home to buy a Royal Enfield 350 Classic.
How did you know?
I don't know. I just
wasn't
had a
going
feeling.
to tell Karen. No,
I saw you scrolling through Marketplace. That's how I know.
Oh, righto, yeah. No, well, the other side of it, after seeing what you're doing and everybody else and talking to people, I'm actually going to go home and try a bit of yoga.
Oh, yoga's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know my mum was a yoga teacher. I don't know whether that put me off it, but I've never, you know, look at me, you know, the physique of a sumo wrestler who's sat too close to the bar for too long. But now I know life is just way too good to not face it with more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, give it a crack.
Turn it up to full volume, you know? That's what this trip's done for me. Turn my life up to full volume.
I remember chatting to you about halfway through the trip, and I said it's something, like I haven't felt this good.
No.
Because I've had a gap between tours and I've been home for about 3 months, and I was like, you know, with each day that went by, I could just feel the energy coming back, you know, whether it's the sun, the food, the people, the riding, but, you know, I feel like I'm bloody 20 years younger at the moment. Like it's the years fall away. And I'm not saying that to, I'm not bullshitting, I'm not saying that to sell bloody bike tours or whatever.
No, you don't have to, mate.
That's how I feel, and I do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So.
What got me in the first place was talking to Matt's customers. You know, like I'm really big on doing my homework before I get involved. I knew Matt for a long time, but it wasn't until I come along and talked to, and found out that they were nearly all repeat customers. And as an old tour guide, I know you don't get that unless you're doing something right. So if you don't believe us, stick your money where your mouth is, come to Patagonia.
March 2025, getting quick because we've only got
a couple of places left.
We've only got 8 bikes over there, so we've got 2 of them. There's 2 or 3 people jumped on already, so there's probably only 2 or 3 bikes left. So get on there. Frankie's flying back tomorrow, so she'll upload this, I think, in the next couple of days. So hopefully...
Bring your sense of adventure.
Well, it might be already sold out by the time this gets up there. But anyway, Frankie's saying, no, it's not going to happen that quick. But anyway, just get in touch. If not this year, we might have something the following year. I want to run an idea by you. I don't know if I should do this on we can always cut it out. Frankie and I was speaking today. I was telling you about the amazing experience I've had with my son, Hunter, and our work experience kid.
Who's just a lovely bloke. I mean, anyway.
He's coming out of his shell, and we can see that now. But like I said, he's had a rough trot the last probably 5 years. Struggled with school, a bit like ourselves.
School's not everyone's best game.
He went a bit dark, and it's great to see him just flourishing. And we thought, well, what a great way we could maybe one day set up a tour every year or 2 years where you bring troubled, kids that are going through, and say you and I, we could come for
Mentor
2 weeks with a young bloke, buddy up with him. He can either pillion or ride. And
my little brother's a romance school teacher, and he's retiring soon.
Yeah,
I might get him involved in something like that, because he's never had a kid come in that didn't wind up leaving and loving him. And I think a trip like this, maybe we can get the government to pay for it. They pay for everything else.
If we added 10% or 5% on our tour price, and that goes into the kitty, and that could fund it, then people could chuck a bit extra in if they wanted to. They would. It'd be like a mentorship. There's boys, especially boys. They don't, if they don't, their dad's not around there anymore. Well, it gives them, like I've just seen, it's good for teenage boys to be around men.
Yes.
And bikes.
Yes.
And adventure. We used to go to war. We used to go.
No, that's right.
Used to go exploring. Used to go backpacking. Kids aren't doing that
anymore.
They're
not doing it, and to drag them out of that digital world and chuck them into the real world like this. A mate of mine, Simon. G'day, Simon. He's my manager. Actually, he was my manager. Sort of still is. But his job used to be. I mean, he's like you and me. He jags all the good jobs.
Yep.
His job was, do you remember Sir Francis Chichester sailed around the world on a yacht? He was the first man to solo sail all the way around. English guy.
I know the name. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think it was called the Gypsy Moth or something. I can't remember.
Yep.
Butler, and he would take crews of troubled kids from London.
Yep.
And they'd take 8 or 10 kids, and they'd have to do the maritime discipline and sail and fish and do all that. And they'd go around the world. Yep. And they'd drop off one bunch of kids and pick up another and go. The sort of thing, exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And it changes lives. It just changes lives. Just like it's changed my life. At my age, as settled as I am, this trip has changed my life. That's fundamental, mate.
Well,
that's major. That's actually bloody major.
Well, Frankie and I, and it doesn't have to be just boys. Like, she's like, well, I'd like to do that with girls. And I said, well, wouldn't that be great as well? Women taking girls on bikes and stuff. There's a whole lot of cool stuff we could do. So we could start a fund for that. And I'm just planting the seed because I knew you'd like it.
I love it. I love it. I mean,
imagine booking a motorbike tour to Sri Lanka and knowing that you were helping some young bloke down the track get his life back on track.
Exactly. And
that doesn't have the opportunity to do something like this with his dad or something like that, So
look, the job of changing people's lives is just so deep, so fundamental.
Yeah.
And this kind of stuff does it.
I really feel that if you can change a young bloke's life or a young girl's life, then that has flow-on effects. They'll remember that forever, and then they'll help someone else, and you're really making the world a better place.
My little brother measures his success in how many kids he teaches to read. And you think, well, that's a bit weird, but he's dealing with teenagers who don't know how to read because they've been left behind. They missed out, something like that.
Reading is so important.
And a lot of those kids wind up going to jail or something because they were tracked that way anyway, But he changes lives. And I've seen how good it is for him.
Yeah.
I like to think I changed a few lives, poked a few people into going around Australia and getting out there and stuff like that. But yeah, Matt, if we can do that, 300%, mate.
Well, I planted the seed, and it's in here. I've been thinking about it for a few years, and just today, it's sort of just seeing Hunter last night.
Oh yeah.
And just seeing his broad shoulders, I was like, fuck, he wasn't
He's a man.
He wasn't like that when I left. Like he was sort of hunched over and no confidence.
He's a little bit pasty faced, and
now he's got
even his hair. He sort of had his hair over his eyes now. I've noticed his
jawline.
He's got that big jaw, and he's
Yeah, I'm like, geez, I hope he doesn't stand up and whack me one day.
Oh, mate,
but no, we're just sharing a room. We're laying in there every night, reading our books and chatting, and it's like we haven't done that since he was 10 years old, you know. So it's been an incredible experience for both of us. So,
fantastic.
So yeah, we'll wrap it up there anyway. Thanks for that. A few new ideas, a bit of a recap on the ride. Like I said, Patagonia in March with Roothy. If you want to come and ride with the both of us and maybe jump in on some podcasts and stuff along the way.
It'll be great. And
it's going to be fantastic.
Himalayans, sorry.
Oh, Royal Enfield Himalayas. I thought, you're booking the Himalayas as well.
No, I'll be there. Just sign me up, 12 months, I'm fine. Excellent. Look, see you there, see you around. And if you think what we've been talking about, this is what we talk about all day.
Pretty
really,
much. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep. So cool.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, Karen.
Thank
you are seriously, I am so grateful to have had you here and really enjoyed travelling with you guys and looking forward to much more of it. You are both real Aussie legends.
That's really nice of you, but what you and Frankie and... Oh, where did you get the whiskey monster from?
The Rajasthani, Shahid.
Oh. What a team.
Well, I'm about to fly to Delhi tomorrow to do it all again in Rajasthan. So.
Oh, gee.
Anyway,
right.
we'll wrap it up there, and thanks for the chat, and thanks for giving everyone the lowdown on Sri Lanka, and we'll chat to you again in Patagonia, probably before then, but
Probably before then, mate. I'll be down drinking your home brew. We'll work out the next big plan.
Always welcome, always welcome.
Good on you.
Cut.
Fantastic.
After you get off the bike.
You can take that off. Hang on, is everyone here? I think we're missing a few.
Big Mick, man of the hour. Give us a hug.
Is this yours? It is. You can go back. Good job, mate.
Never mind the noise. Chase the adventure.